Tiffany, and today I'm going to talk about my tattoos. This is such good tea. Do you guys drink this? Do you guys get this other places that aren't Texas? Because I know that this company was started in Austin and this is like great tea. Anyway, so I was on Facebook this afternoon and I saw a post from somebody reminding me that I promised you guys about 2 months ago that I was going to do an updated all about my tattoos video, and I get a lot of questions about these guys, and I was grateful for the reminder. And basically these days I'm grateful for any post on my Facebook that isn't about stupid Chick-fil-A. Yes. I don't own Chick-fil-A, I don't work for Chick-fil-A, and I surely can't control the stupid thoughts of an 87-year-old man. That is not my particular superpower. My particular superpower is like levitation or sleeping for long periods of time. That's all I'll say about that, besides the 18 posts that I've already made regarding how I'm cool with everyone on Earth. So this is just going to be about my tattoos and not about my piercing. My only unique piercing that I have is my industrial bar, and every time I talk about it on this channel and how I dealt with it, people kind of just tear their faces off, and it's just a really grotesque experience for me. So I will just say one word, and that is Neosporin regarding this. I shan't go any further. So I'm just going to talk about my tattoos now in order of which ones I got in what order. I only have 3 currently. So my first tattoo is on my wrist area, and it says Real Horror Show in cursive letters. That I got in December of 2010, and it is my Clockwork Orange tattoo, so that may not make much sense to you if you don't watch, well, if you haven't watched Clockwork Orange, but that is like my all-time favorite movie right alongside Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's probably my other all-time favorite movie. They speak a special language in that movie, which is kind of like slang, like from Russian slang, and it's called Nadsat, and Real Horror Show is like a code word for something good or something awesome. And I was going through really rough stuff in 2010. I was in and out of the hospital a lot. I had gotten into a really bad car accident, broke my hand, and yada yada yada. And so I got this tattoo kind of in homage of, you know, like feeling good, feeling better. It has a lot of symbolism for me, and one day I'm sure I'll make a vlog about Clockwork Orange and kind of get into more of that, because I don't know, people probably like, if I don't tell the story from my slant, people are probably like, why is A Clockwork Orange your favorite movie? Because it is kind of crazy and there is kind of some violent parts in it. You know, it has special meaning to me. Impertinence of remaining true to oneself, and that's kind of what that whole movie is about for me, because Alex, the main character, even though he's kind of like a bad person who gets into a lot of trouble, people try and brainwash him, people try and change him, but at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, he remains true to himself. But I guess that doesn't give too much away. Right? This tattoo, I can really equate it to the feeling, and I think I said this in my first ever tattoo video many moons ago. I can really only equate the feeling of getting this done, and this is such a strange thing to say, but like if you ever walk into an old house or a house that's being built or renovated and there's like a nail sticking out like from the door frame, and you just like walk past it and like the nail kind of like catches your arm, like, or I don't know, like maybe if you've ever scraped yourself with a safety pin or something like that. That's really what it feels like. It was not painful for me at all. It took in total about 20 minutes to get this done. I didn't really bleed or anything like that, and the recovery process was pretty quick for me, in about 2 weeks total. My experience with black ink tattoos is that it kind of, and this is really gross, but it scabs over completely, and then the skin starts to just kind of like fleck off. And the most important thing is don't scratch it and don't peel it, because if you do, you can lift ink out of the tattoo, and that would really suck, right? So I have, like I said, had this one since 2010, and I'm not really good about putting sunscreen on this area of my body. I've never had it like fade or get weird or anything like that. I didn't put any cream on it. I didn't put anything on it whatsoever. I just kind of like got the tattoo, and then they put, I think it's like Aquaphor or something. They put that on there when I left, and then they told me I didn't have to put anything on it, so I didn't. I just basically, you know, was good about cleaning the area with soap and water. And that was the history on that one. So my second tattoo was a much different experience, and instead of like standing on this chair awkwardly and doing like Karate Kid pose and like, ha, I'm going to insert a clip now of me getting this tattoo, and it's going to be like sped up, but I actually filmed segments of this long time ago, so I thought that would be kind of fun to show you guys. This tattoo I got last year over spring break, so spring break 2011. I've had it for over a year now. This was my first color tattoo and also my first, like, you know, large area tattoo. It's a cameo of Al Swearingen, who's a character from the TV show Deadwood, and I think that TV show went off of air in 2005. It was on HBO for a while. It's kind of like a Wild West thing, and I got this tattoo done at, this is like the best tattoo studio I've ever been to in my life. So if you're anywhere in Texas or the general Houston area, you definitely want to go to Locally Famous Tattoo, which is in the Conroe area, and ask for Dave Bozeman. He is by far the best portrait artist I have ever seen. I brought in a source picture, and he basically did this completely freehand with very few guidelines. This, however, I will tell you guys, was excruciatingly painful. Everybody told me, oh, the wrist area is like so super painful, and then I went in and I got it done. It was not painful at all to me. I didn't even hardly like blink an eye. And so when people told me, oh, like the top of the foot is like the worst place you can get, I was like, yeah, okay. No, they're not lying. I would not really recommend this if you do not have a high threshold for pain, or if it's not something you really super want. The cameo on my foot took about 7 hours. I did it all in one session. We took like little intermittent 10-minute breaks, but that was really it. And there was probably about 3 10-minute breaks that we took. So most of the time I was just sitting there straight getting tattooed all day and all night. I think I went in there at like 3 in the afternoon and I didn't leave until 2 in the morning. That may be an exaggeration. I'm not that good at counting. So roughly about 7 to 7.5 hours is how long it took. There was bleeding, and that didn't really bother me. I don't know, that didn't really bother me, but it was excruciatingly painful. And the longer that he was tattooing, the more painful it got, you know, because my foot was swelling and everything else. And pretty much the miner's knives, which I have, you know, 2 crossing miner's knives at like the toe end of the tattoo, that was the worst part. And then the cameo, the top part around my ankle, that was also one of the worst parts. Like his actual face area was not that bad, but on a whole, I don't know. I had originally planned on getting both of my feet done. I was going to get another cameo on my left foot of another Deadwood character so that they would kind of like match and be a set, but I have not been able to convince myself to do this because the first time around was so horrible. And it was like after the tattoo was done, the pain stopped, but what was the worst part for me was that my foot was so swollen that I could not walk for a week. I was like limping around the house. So I was really lucky that I did that at the beginning of spring break, because there was no way that I could have gone to class, because all I was doing was basically like laying in bed with my foot elevated and an ice pack on my foot trying to get the swelling down. And the other, you know, kind of like weird experience that I had with this tattoo is that they told me to saran wrap it at night because, and this is like grotesque, but it's a tattoo story, you know. It's like those creepy shows on TV that come on TLC. It's like a baby story. So this is like a tattoo story because of the large area, and I guess just the different reaction to either combination of it being colored ink or such a large piece. I don't really know, but this one did ooze. This one never oozed. So because of the colored ink and because of the oozing, they told me to definitely put the Aquaphor at night, keep it moisturized, and also to wrap up my tattoo with saran wrap. And I guess that's like in case it's oozing in the night, and then like so your foot doesn't get stuck to your bed sheets, because if it does, it can pull the ink out. And I actually think around the little corner, like edge of my tattoo, I did accidentally draw some ink out of it because I kind of toss and turn in the middle of the night, and I think I must have just like kind of wiggled out of the saran wrap a little bit, but hey, at least it wasn't like anything major or his face or something like that. The other weird experience that I had with this tattoo, which I guess isn't that weird, but it was just weird to me because it was my first color tattoo, so I just want to share this experience with you guys so maybe I can save some of y'all like the freaking out. I have extremely sensitive skin, and I do have a lot of different allergic reactions to most things on earth, so I was kind of nervous about the color tattoo because I didn't know if my skin would like reject the ink or if it would be like some big grotesque nightmare. About 3 or 4 days into the healing process, I started to develop these little, what looked like ant bites, and I was like, oh, like I thought I was having an allergic reaction to the ink, and so I called the tattoo artist, and he was he went above and beyond, like answering all my questions, and he said that that was just part of the healing process and that they should just like come up and then go down, and they really did. Within 2 days, all of the little bumps were completely gone. And the last weird thing about this tattoo is like I said, on this black ink tattoo, like it flecked, like the dry skin flecked off, you know, over a span of like a week or a week and a half. This tattoo on my foot, it was like the whole top layer of my foot. One night I got in the shower, and this was, I don't know, you know, roughly about the same time when the little bumps came up, but it was like the entire top layer of my skin just like rolled off, and it wasn't even like I was trying to exfoliate or rub the area or anything like that. It's literally like I stood up out of the shower and it was like my foot fell off. I don't know, it's like the whole area that I had gotten tattooed basically just kind of like rolled up and fell off. Quite apparently it happens sometimes that way, and that was also nothing to be concerned about because I talked to a lot of different people who have color tattoos and the tattoo artist, and they said sometimes that's how it happens. This tattoo, Aftercare, especially like long term, and because I live in like a really hot sunshiny climate, I'm always very cautious of putting on a thin layer of sunscreen on this tattoo to make sure that it doesn't bleed and that the colors don't fade, because like I said, this is not really an experience that I really want to go through again, and I'm sure I'm gonna have it touched up at some point, but at least hopefully I can save myself like major damage by putting sunscreen on it. And they told me to use like a baby sunscreen, children's sunscreen. I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know that much about children's sunscreen. I don't know if it's like got more protective agents in it or if it's just a gentler formula, but that's what I use 9 times out of 10 is baby suntan lotion. Okay, I think that's enough on that one. The last tattoo and my most recent tattoo, I just got this, let's see, when I got back from Disney World, so that was April. I believe I got this at the end of April, and I did talk about this briefly in one video a long time ago, or right after I got it done, but that was in a shoe unboxing, so I can understand why some people missed it. This tattoo is identical to a tattoo that Johnny Depp has on his finger, and I have always been a big Johnny Depp fan. I know some people are gonna think that this is stupid. I put this disclaimer in my last video, and I'm not trying to be rude. I do care about y'all's opinions, but I don't care about any like negative stuff or like people being like, oh, that's so stupid. I didn't get this tattoo for other people. I got it for myself. Ever since I was little, I saw this tattoo on his finger. I've always loved it. 3 is a lucky number for me. Now, I've heard the reason why he has this tattoo is because he used to be a pin salesman telemarketer. I don't really know what the technical term for that would be, but he used to always like doodle this on his finger with a pin constantly, and then one day he just got it tattooed on his finger, kind of, and I think he got it done like once he started being an actor and whatever, and you know, so I'm kind of at a different place in my life. I'm less depressed, and I've graduated from college now, so you know, I don't know, it was just kind of like, this sounds like a coming of age thing, but it's something I've always wanted, it's something I've always loved, and I don't regret it, and I love it. I literally love it every day. okay. It may be, I don't know if it's my favorite tattoo, but I certainly like it. I guess my foot tattoo is my favorite tattoo because it's extra grand, but I don't know. I guess all my tattoos hold a special place in my heart, but I do love this one. And it's like permanent jewelry too. You know, it's like a ring that I never have to take off. I think a couple members of the Swamp family went out and got this tattoo now too, and I think that that's totally cool. It's like we're all part of like a special, I don't know, a special thing. Oh, I didn't talk much about the process. This tattoo literally took about 10 minutes to get. I was in the studio for about 40 minutes in total because I did bring in a source picture of his finger, and the tattoo artist had to make adjustments and everything because obviously my hand is not a hand of a man. So he had to, like, you know, kind of make the rectangles thinner so that it would fit on my finger, but I did get the placement exactly the same as Johnny Depp's tattoo, with a rectangle that's like down and then one that's slightly elevated and then another one that's down. So I don't know, people ask me about this tattoo more than any of my other tattoos, and I kind of just, I don't know, like I kind of just say because most of the time, because it's a really long explanation, I feel, to just like dump on people in the middle of the mall. Be like, hi, yes, okay, you want to know? This one really only took about 4 days to heal. I try and use hand sanitizer less now, at least on the top of my hands, because I've heard that sometimes finger or hand tattoos fade the fastest, but this one doesn't really look like it's fading yet. But then again, I've only had it a couple months. But I didn't have any, like, pain or anything with this. I didn't even feel this one, but, you know, once you get the top of your foot done, it's like, I think I could get a tattoo anywhere else and I wouldn't care anymore. So I know the last question that I'm going to get a lot, and this was actually a question I got a lot on my Q&A, is, am I going to get any more tattoos? And the answer is probably yes. I have one in mind that I really, really want to get right now, and I was really tempted to go out and get it for my birthday, but I want to get the Gonzo fist, and it's a Hunter S. Thompson thing, but you could always Google it. Gonzo symbol, it's like a two-thumbed fist, and it's like the bottom is like a sword instead of an arm, and then it says Gonzo in the middle, and I really want to get that done, and I want to get it done like right here, like on the inside of my arm, but my arms aren't, like, I don't know, I kind of want to wait and like work my arms out a little bit more. I used to have like more toned and defined arms, but then I was in a car wreck, and I think like a couple weeks ago I accidentally like refractured where my hand was broken, so sometimes it's hard for me to like lift weights of any like actual numerical value, but I think I'd kind of like to get my arms toned a little bit more before I get a tattoo in my arm area, because I'm not really sure if that would make a difference or not. Normally when I get tattoos, I really like to think long and hard about them. It took me a long time to get into tattoos. I've always loved tattoos. I've always wanted tattoos, but I definitely think it's something that you should put a lot of thought into, because you're gonna be stuck with it forever unless you want to have your skin burnt off. I hope that this answered some of y'all's questions or just your curiosities about what my different tattoos mean. I really should do like movie club where we all watch Clockwork Orange. Well, I guess you have to be like 18 or older technically to watch Clockwork Orange, but it is on Netflix in case you're curious. Also, don't watch Deadwood unless you're older. I just had to say that as like a disclaimer, because there is a lot of like kissing and stuff in it. Clockwork Orange is just like violence. If you do watch Clockwork Orange, just be prepared. Like the first 30 minutes of the movie is kind of like violent with themes of like robbery and rape. So if that kind of stuff like bothers you to visually check out, I mean, obviously it bothers everyone, but if even the theme of it disturbs you in a movie, don't watch that movie. I just don't want anyone to like get upset about it. So that's it. Now I'm just rambling. If you have any questions for me, just leave them in a comment down below or on my Facebook page or on my Twitter. If you want, you can take a minute to subscribe. I would love to have you as a member of the Swamp family, so hit that button if you want. You can like me on Facebook, facebook.com/graveyardgirl, or you can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram @graveyardgirl, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.